feelings are just real hurt
Yeah.
right now
My
because
feelings are hurt
We
because
had a kerfuffle.
yeah, a
we done had a
kerfuffle.
whole conversation about a hot topic. Okay, y'all, for the sake of time, we just gonna keep it moving and get into
We're gonna
tonight's
keep it
topic.
moving.
We'll have to circle back to our hot topic later because we done had a
Right.
whole conversation. But we were talking tonight to catch us up real quick. We're talking tonight about the silent killer of your family and the people that you love, right? Because I have often heard people feel like they have to respect their elders. They have to um give access to their blood relatives. They have to go along to get along with the people that birthed them and in their familial community, right? In order to be loved, to be supported, to be safe. A lot of people don't feel like they can go against their parents or their elders or the people in their family, cousins, whoever. I, however, operate under the guise of equal opportunity. Anybody can get it. I don't care if you're blood. I don't care if you loved. I don't care if you bestie. Whoever you are, you gotta love, honor, and respect me in order to have access to me is a privilege. It's a whole luxury. And if you can't do that, then so I cut family, I cut whoever, whenever, however, as needed. And so we wanted to talk about that tonight, Gypsy. Y'all missed it when she threw Sean under the bus. I don't think it was recording at that point.
Nope.
So we're gonna reroute it back to you, Gypsy May, to tell the
Okay.
people.
So, as I was saying, there was a time where I would be the one that would always try to keep the peace and try to make everybody get along and put people in spaces that were uncomfortable for them, knowing that I wouldn't like to be in those spaces either. But I would, you know, say, well, we're family, we're supposed to get on. But I don't know. I think something happened when I reached 50. Like no fucks given anymore. I think between there's three different changes in my life that I could say. One of them was when my mom died. The other one was, after COVID. Um, and because I reached 50 during COVID. And I just, I don't know, I stopped being such a people pleaser. And I also recognize that it's okay to have boundaries and it's okay you can forgive someone without letting them in your space. And that's where I am. And so I have people on block. Don't you mute yourself again.
Who, me?
Oh, okay, there you go. Uh-huh. Yeah. So yeah, I have family members on block right now. And like I said, they can't reach me via email, social media, text message, carrier pigeon.
Trying to
They
tell
just
you.
because that's the thing, no
Trying to tell
access.
you.
And so, I used to like think that Demonte was kind of messed up for doing that because he has some people that he don't mess with. And I'm like, oh, that's family. Or what you gonna do when I'm passed? And da da da. Gonna keep on living like you was before.
What did the old people used to tell us when we would say something and they would get irritated with us? I ain't gotta do nothing but stay black, pay
That
taxes,
can
and
die.
die. I
That's it.
mean,
That's it.
and there's some logic to that, right? You don't have to go
Mhm.
along to get along unless you decide that that's what you have to do. Because again, access to me in my mind, I'm like amazing. So access to me is a privilege. It's not a right. It is a luxury. And in order to have that, you got to treat me the way I want to be treated. And there has to be reciprocity so that both of us can thrive. I don't care who you are. And if I feel like we're not thriving or you the only one thriving, I'm out. And I used to be that way you are. I used to people please and want to hold on and love everybody and kumbaya and fuck all of that now. I choose peace over everything else.
I think that's when we first started finding out our mental health means something now. Like before, and everybody was very dismissive of people having mental health issues, except for just don't go down there with Uncle Johnny. He in the basement. Don't go down there. I
Yeah.
mean, and that was as far as they would talk about mental health, right? But now people are seriously realizing that the reason people have such mental health challenges and the reason that people have such relationship challenges is because it started with their family.
I'm gonna put it like this, and I always been cut from a different cloth, so I ain't never gave a fuck. I don't block people because if I don't fuck with you, you gonna know I don't fuck with you, and you ain't gonna block me. Like this nigga ain't gonna fuck with me. Like yeah, I got people in my phone because I just transfer all my shit over from my old ass phone. So I got people in my phone. I ain't talked to them in 20 fucking years because I don't fuck with them.
Well, then why let them take up space?
They don't take up space. I just transfer shit over in the phone. I ain't take the time to go delete them because that would be taking up space. Oh, let me make sure I delete them out of my phone. That would take up space. I'm wasting time. What the fuck?
What? So I delete and I block. Well, I don't even delete. I just block. Now, if it's a chat conversation, something like that, I'll delete it. But I just block them. Now, if they keep calling me and I just don't even want to see their shit at all, I'll delete them out of my phone so I don't even, recognize it. But because I feel like I don't need to see your number ringing through. I don't need to see your text coming through. I don't
Right.
care if you my mama, if you my daddy, if you my granddaddy, if you my whatever. Like if I have decided that you don't have access to me, you don't have access to me. Now, I use my mom as an example. She technically does have access because I have not blocked her. Only because she's my mom. And if something happens to her health wise, I need to know, right? But I don't respond. I don't talk. I don't answer because I decided that my peace was more valuable than a relationship with any one person. And if I'll cut my own mama, I will cut anybody and everybody else because life is too, I'm not going to say life is too short, but life is too valuable and life is entirely too precious.
Time is one thing I can't get back. I can get
Facts.
money back. I can get make things back. I can buy another thing if you break it or you steal it or whatever, but I can't get my time back. And so I don't want to be bothered with somebody that is taking up my valuable time and they
Facts.
don't appreciate it. And they
Yeah,
don't
just that,
appreciate
and that's what I'm saying. I don't let them. He don't take up none of my time. He don't take up no time, no space in my brain, no space emotionally. Fuck him. And the reason why I say it like that is because if you start looking at shit that way, you'll be much happier. You be like, man, fuck out of here. And I
Y'all know
guarantee
my
you,
favorite
like,
affirmation is fuck them people. But I still feel like the average person doesn't have the capacity to compartmentalize to that
and
level.
that's why I'm saying
that.
it so that hey, you need to start thinking like that. I'm not
Wait a minute.
saying you should be. I'm just saying start thinking like that. And you can start small.
Wait a minute. I just thought about what Jay said about some
What?
people not being able to compartmentalize. That is exactly why a lot of people have mental health problems, is because they compartmentalize.
Well, I
Yes and no.
compartmentalize all the time.
No,
Yes
no.
and no.
But compartmentalize, and sometimes they don't, those sides, what they say, in two roads diverge in the woods and those sides should never meet, you know?
So you have some people that like I'm one that's really good in compartmentalizing. Like I can look right at you and not even see you. Don't give a damn. Once I have cut you off because I have realized that you are dangerous to me in some form or fashion, to me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, energetically, or financially, I'm good. I will not piss on you to help put you out if you're on fire. Like I'm good because it's a switch that I flip, right? Now I'm not gonna say that that's something that I learned how to develop. For whatever the reason, it was just innately there for me. And it's been that way since I was little. What my issue was the people around me. That was my biggest struggle because I was constantly being forced to override my autonomy, even as a child. I'm an introvert, right? So at 4 and 5, I didn't want to be around all them groups of people when they would come to my grandmother's house or family would come around. I want to go sit in the back room and get the fuck out of everybody's face. But then I was being grabbed and said, oh, you got to go. The example that you gave earlier, you got to hug this person. You got to do this. You got to do that. Oh, she's so cute. Where is she? Go get the little cutie pie. They used to call me Cabbage Patch Doll and China Doll. You know what I'm saying? And so I was constantly being told that my autonomy didn't matter, that my needs or my boundaries didn't matter. And so eventually you get to a point with your family, especially at a young age, where you feel like it's easier to go along to survive. It's easier to
Mhm.
go along to stay safe, right? And then as women, that's a whole nother layer that has to be added to that conversation, because I have not met a woman in my 45, almost 46 years. I've not met a woman who at some point in her life, multiple times in her life, and probably consistently, has not said or done something to keep herself safe in the presence of somebody, most likely men, right? We'll go along to get along, whether it's giving you our phone number, whether it's going out on a date with you, whether it's having sex with you, whatever it is. I've not met a woman, and I understand you as a man shaking your head, Sean, but
But if
I've
Nah,
not.
nah, 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 nah. You don't. I'm not shaking my head because the why I'm shaking my head because why would a
I
man do that?
know. No, I
but
know why you're shaking your head, because remember, y'all, we had this conversation back in
right,
January.
right.
So that's why I was saying I know you're shaking your head. But the sad part is I've not met a woman that has not had to do that. So that adds a whole nother layer. And most likely, even for that young girl or that woman, it started in her childhood. Because going back to Gypsy's example, go give Uncle Johnny a hug, go give Aunt Teresa a hug. And there are a lot of boys that go through the same exact thing, and they oftentimes just don't feel safe enough to talk about it. And once they get old enough to where they can fight or they're physically intimidating, it doesn't happen as often. Whereas women, most men that we encounter are still going to be physically intimidating to us, even if we can fight, even if we're trained in something, right? Even if we have self-defense skills or weapons. So a lot of times we're still going to go along, and that bleeds over into all the other areas of our life and circles back to family or relationships where you stay in shit way too long because it's easier to go along to get along. Now I'm in a place of I value my peace, but that's because I've done the work to heal, to get back to my innate self. And my innate self is like, I'm a whole motherfucking me, and
Right.
you have to earn access. And if you don't, in a way that I don't like, you don't get it. And I don't feel guilty about that. But people feel guilty every single day. Or they have fear that if I cut my family off, or if I cut this person off, or I leave this relationship, or whatever it may be, they're going to be by themselves.
Good evening, Shirley.
Now, me personally, I've always been contrary.
Hey,
So
sure.
I always
Yes.
just just I don't know why it's just me. I always just did whatever the fuck I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be honest, when I was younger, oh yeah, I was outgoing like a motherfucker. Shit, I have like especially when I was a kid, I had little dance routines, sing songs, all that shit put on the show. I only became an introvert as I got older. Like I had to say around about 36, 37. That's when I was like, you know what? Because I've been going out, hitting the clubs, doing all this and that. Now I just want to fucking chill and relax.
Well, when you've been hitting the club since you was 13, I guess so. No, let me stop.
Well, nah. It was 16. It was 16, not 13.
Yeah,
But
but I mean, yeah. Now, I mean, I was joking, but not, because when I was in the Navy, at 18 I started partying and stuff like that. And so when I got out, that was not my mindset anymore. But however, we talk about being dateable. That means that a person that's already got issues with relationships that are not necessarily sexual relationships or intimate partner relationships, but if they can't function in their familial relationships, how are they going to function in an intimate partner relationship?
and that's why I said I always been contrary, because and I can compartmentalize because that ain't got shit to do with that. And that's just the way I feel. I'm not saying everybody should feel that way. I'm just saying
Really?
that's my mentality because you know me and my moms we having plenty of issues. They ain't stopped me from doing what I was doing when I was seeing women. They ain't had shit to do with that.
You don't think so?
Nah, not at
If your
all.
cut game is just as clear,
Hmm.
you don't think that is a product of your being able, I mean, your situation with your family? If you're able to cut people off like that, you had to learn that behavior. I believe that all that behavior is learned behavior.
I learned that behavior just in the streets.
I
You
don't
know what
know,
I'm saying?
Jay. Why you looking like that? You don't think that's learned behavior?
I mean, I honestly have to agree with okay, so in all fairness, I don't know that I'm the typical person, and I'm always honest about that. I'm kind of right there in the middle of both of y'all. I think some of it is learned behavior, but I also have to really agree with Sean. Like when I look back at my earliest memories and all the things that I recognized about myself and kind of understood about myself, sometimes kids know things about themselves, but they don't have words to put to them, right? Um, and so even as an adult, when I look back and I remember things or look back at memories and experiences, I'm like, damn, yep. And I see that same mindset now as an adult. When I tell you I don't want to be fucking, but I don't like people. I love people, and there's a difference. There's a big difference. I am not nice. I'm kind. There's a difference in that as well. And a lot of times people are not okay acknowledging those variances within themselves.
Hmm.
The reason one of my favorite affirmations is fuck them people is because I understand ain't nobody got a heaven and hell to put me in but me, if it even exists. Whether it exists or not is not even the point. But whatever happens in this life and outside of this life and this body is mine to experience. Nobody else can crawl up in this skin and experience it for me, right?
Right.
Well, that's a whole nother topic spiritually. But for the topic of this conversation, for the purposes of this conversation, can't nobody be up in this body but me. And if that be the case, should nobody have the power to make me miserable. And if they're making me miserable or uncomfortable, they need to get the fuck out my life.
Wow.
Like, and the reason I got to be that cutthroat is because I spent my childhood and my young adult and my early 20s living for everybody else because that's the way they programmed me to live. And it overrode my innate self. And I was fucking miserable all the time. I was angry all the time. I was rage filled all the time because it's like
Mm.
you're split, right? Your psyche, your spirit is saying this is me, and everybody else is pouring in all these ingredients and saying no, override that, forget that, this is really who you are. And so you're constantly at war with yourself, which means you can only be unhappy. And it wasn't until I finally said I'm willing to dig through this, I'm willing to dig deep enough to get to all the layers and keep going, because every layer you uncover, there's going to be 5 more you got to uncover. So I'm still uncovering, but I'm willing to uncover and dig and feel and experience and go through whatever the fuck I got to go through for me to be happy. And nobody else can control that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else can dictate my happiness, my joy, my peace. They may create moments that I can experience that with them, but they can't dictate it unless, like, I used to tell my clients all the time, it's like giving somebody a remote control. Like you turn the TV station, when you hand people the remote control and they have power over you to dictate how you feel and tell you how you feel and how you get to respond, you have given them the ultimate control. And I don't want to wake up on my deathbed or wake up dead and be looking like, bitch, I know I ain't lived all these years and that shit was really irrelevant. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was the hard reality that I faced in order to give myself permission to go back to who I saw myself really being, which is I wouldn't say I'm cutthroat, but I am just very logical about some things. And that just makes sense to me.
That's why I don't never hand nobody the remote unless I'm going to bed.
Well, God damn it.
I like
Sure
that.
said,
I need
sure
look.
said that part,
Let
living
me
how other
write
people
that
think you
down,
should
Sean.
live.
I need that.
I'm just saying.
Don't ever hand anyone the remote unless you're going to bed.
That's what I do. 'Cause, I mean, that's when I had remote. I'm at my house, and so if I'm handing it to somebody, I'm going like, hey, here you go. I'm going to bed. Do you?
You know what, Sean? Don't make me get that chick your phone number because she been itching for a reason to call you. And I just feel like she might be the one that you want to hit. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. Listen,
And
at the end of the day, I agree with Sean. Don't get nobody the remote unless you're in bed. Now, if you want to cuddle up and watch TV together, do what you do. But nobody else should have the power to dictate how you feel or dictate the life that you're living, because at the end you're going to be the only one in your deathbed by yourself. You may be surrounded by people that love you, but you will be the one leaving this life. And do
you're
you
gonna be
really
the
want to
one
look
that
back
have
and
to.
recognize all the things that you didn't do, all the pain that you held on to, all the moments that you missed out on, because
I
you let
wonder what
everybody
that's
else
like.
tell you.
What's
Hmm?
what like?
Because I mean, the thing is I spend so much time I spend so much time trying to make sure that I'm not hurting other people or whatever, right? I wonder what it's like when you do that last review and you be like, damn, all that time I messed up by just worried about what other people thought about me.
I can't tell you what it's like from lived experience of being in the body going through that transition, but I can tell you what it's like being in those last moments with people, and it fucking sucks. And they
Mm.
hate it. And there's a lot of pain and a lot of tears that they have to work through, realizing that their life is coming to an end, whether it's in moments or days or weeks or months. And they have not lived the life that they look back and truly have joy about. And
Damn,
so
and
that's why I
yeah,
tell people
that
like it's not worth it.
yeah, it does suck, and yeah, that I mean, because when it's somebody that has lived their life, they can
Hmm.
let it go, and
Facts. They
but
transition
when
with
it's
so much peace.
yeah,
Wow.
but when it's somebody that hasn't lived their life and has so much regret, they trying to hold on and hold on. It's like, I mean, and I'm not trying to sound callous or anything, but it's like, yo, just let go. What are you holding on for?
Because
You
there's
can't
nothing
do
you can
shit,
do about it. Right.
Yeah.
you know.
And and I agree with Sean. Like they have so much peace. They don't want to leave the people that they love, but they have peace about leaving. Like I, it's two totally different worlds. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right. Right.
And that's why I said I can't tell you from being in that body, but I can tell you from having to witness it and hold space for it. It fucking sucks. Like it
Mhm.
really does.
Yeah.
Because their family has to sit with all the things that weren't done, all the things they wish they had done, and that person's not going to be here to do. And they have to sit with it, knowing
And
that their
all
final
those
moments are
words
counting
that weren't
down.
said. All those words that weren't said because
Mm-hmm.
there have been times I hold my tongue because I'm afraid of how the reaction that I might get. So I
And
hold
it's
my
killing you
tongue.
slowly.
Right. It is.
Now, I ain't saying y'all got to be like me and Sean and be cutthroat and be cussing folk out, but I am saying it's worth it to speak your mind and speak your heart, even if you can't say it to that person. Write that shit in a letter and burn it. Write it in a journal. Write it in a letter and bury it. I don't care what you do, but get it out because it's like poison. It's like poisoning yourself trying to kill your enemy. Really, it is.
I mean, see, that's why you gotta, elocute. You gotta learn how to speak. You gotta learn those words so you can be nicey.
Be nice, nasty. I
Nice.
like it.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm talking
Wow.
about.
And you can
Yeah,
hit
but
them, and it sounds so good, but you slice them up, and they don't even know it. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna think about that." And
They
you
be
don't
like, "You
call them
really think
everything,
cuss me
and
out,
they have
okay,
babe?"
no
so
idea.
when you do that, so now you do that in all your relationships, including your
Nah, nah,
dating.
that's normally reserved for the professional
Yeah.
arena. Now, if I know you, man, fuck that. I'm gonna talk to you.
If I can't have a real conversation with you, now I am not above apologizing. If I say something, now if I love you and I say something that in my mind I was just being, I'm cut and dry with a lot of things. In my head, this is how it makes sense. So this is how I'm going to give it to you. But if you come back and you're like, Jay, that actually kind of hurt my feelings, or that bothered me here, I'm going to ask for understanding. Like, okay, can you explain to me why? Because I want to understand context so that I know what to flip or tweak or freak or change or whatever. Now, I might still give it to you the same way, be like, well, fuck your feelings. That's what I meant. That's what I said. And you're going to be all right because I know we have that kind of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Suzette. Um, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to acknowledge that if I hurt your feelings, I'm not gonna be an asshole Sagittarius and be like, well shit, I'm sorry that your feelings hurt.
I
I'm
hate that.
legitimately going to say,
No, I hate
I'm
that bullshit
legitimately
ass
gonna
apology.
right. I'm legitimately gonna say, you know what, I am so sorry I hurt your feelings. Can you help me understand how or why so that I can handle it differently or communicate it differently. If I don't like you, or I don't love you, or I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna give it to you how you take it and don't really care how you interpret it. If it's professional, it really is gonna be more nice, nasty, because I may not want to deaden
Lose
that
your job.
relationship. And
Oh
depending on
no.
who it is
Yeah.
and what done happen, I might be like flame, meat match, burn that bitch down. And because it
Right.
depends on who that person is and what I need to accomplish with them. Some relationships need to be burned and destroyed so that you don't ever go back and put yourself in some fuckery again.
True. Now I used to think my sister was so mean because she'll tell you like it is and just keep it moving. She could look at you like you said about looking at you like you're not there. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's that Philly shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's it right there. There you go. That's it right there. Look at you like you're not there. Like, excuse me?
They be like, I know you see me talking to you. I do. You just not worth a response. Carry on.
You ain't talking to
Right.
me. You ain't got
Right.
shit to talk about.
But see, that's
Right.
the
Like,
thing. I guess because I always wore my heart on my sleeves, that makes me probably that toxic family member that doesn't say anything until they explode.
Mm,
There's always that one.
that's dangerous.
hmm
That is really dangerous.
mm-hmm.
That one that quietly simmers, and then when they do finally say something, it's like a machine gun going off, and everybody gonna get it.
Yeah.
I used to be that
And
person.
that's that bullshit. It really is because it needs to be directed where it needs to be directed. I mean, people standing on the side shouldn't catch strays just because,
Facts.
you know.
And oftentimes people take it out on the people that are closest to them, right? Because they don't know how to say it to the person elsewhere. So they take it out on you because you're close and you feel safe and they're comfortable with you, which is bullshit too. And we've
Or
all
maybe
done it.
you
We've
the
all made
straw.
the mistake, but
Maybe you the straw. Maybe you the straw
started
that broke the
reducing.
camel's back. Maybe
But
that was
it
the
should,
last thing.
it should never get to that point. Because you know what? If I did something last Tuesday that fuck with you, you should have addressed it last Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because now if I do something that fuck with you today, and that's a straw, why you let all that hate build up?
And it's gonna come out so much worse than it had to if you addressed it in the beginning.
But that's because a lot of times, again, that's learned toxic behavior within
Yeah.
a family dynamics where you don't know how to find your voice until you've exploded.
And that's
Sure.
why you gotta retrain your brain.
Sure said, and that's when we get into neuroscience, epigenetics, and a whole host of other
I'm
conversations that we really need
55.
to
I ain't
dive
got that
into
kind
as
of time.
well. Hmm.
I said I'm 55. I ain't got that kind of time.
So, okay, sure said it's the zodiac thing for real. LOL, look right through you. And that's why I said I would not be the asshole version of Sagittarius and be like, shit, I'm sorry. But you said your feelings hurt. I mean, that's not like a big problem.
Sagittarius,
I will
Leos, and Capricorns. Y'all
I
do that.
will
Do the
take
deal.
accountability and not be a Sagittarius emotionally, although I have been called that periodically. I own that.
Y'all do
Um,
that bad too. I mean,
uh,
Sagittarius, Capricorns, and Leos, y'all, and your tongue is like a razor. And then that stuff will be like echoing in that person's mind all the time. Like
and then
that's
we have
another
y'all to be
thing.
fucking sensitive.
But that's
Like
another
that's the
toxic,
crazy shit.
that's another toxic learned behavior that I've carried into my dating life. And that's why I'm on a dating hiatus because I would be the one
Sometimes
that
you
would
gotta do that.
replay conversations in my mind. I should have
Yeah.
said, "Oh, maybe I wonder what they really meant when they said." Because because
If
I'm not
you
one that speaks off the cuff. I always look for that underlying. What did they really mean when they said that?
If you want to know, ask. Hold on,
I'm
wait.
gonna ask
What do
what
you
you meant by
mean by
that.
that?
Right. Like, rewind that back. I'm gonna need you to rephrase that and give it to me again. Help me understand, because I don't think we're on the same page. I mean, you have to be willing, but that's comfort, right? That's a comfort level that you have to intentionally build with people that you choose to be in relationship with, whether it's romantic, platonic, friendship, family member, whoever. You've got to be intentional, and not just you, Gypsy. All of us, we have to be intentional about creating space with people that we can talk to. If I don't feel like I can talk to you, I don't want to be bothered with you. I don't care who you are. If you make me feel like my words don't matter, like my thoughts, my feelings, my needs don't matter, fuck
Exactly.
you and the horse you rode in on, and you go kick rocks with open toe shoes and glass. Like, that's how I feel. Because how dare you make me feel as if what I need and my safety and my well-being don't matter, because I'm going the extra mile to hold and create space for you to feel that with me, right? So it's reciprocity. If they don't if they don't respond to your communication with them to shift things or create that, you got to ask yourself, is that worth it for you? And are you speaking up? Because if you're not speaking up, you're just as accountable as the person that's harming you, because
Exactly.
you're giving them access and you're allowing them to keep doing it. One time you fucked up, okay, that might be a misunderstanding, might be some, hazy boundaries. We still learning each other. But after we've known each other for a while, and two times you fuck up, or the 20th time you fuck up, and I feel like, okay, based on this time frame or the quality of this experience, you've had time. I don't give a damn. I have ended friendships that were a decade. I have ended friendships that were 20 years. I have cut off family. Like, you don't get to keep stabbing me and telling me it's catch up. Like, no.
But
Uh-oh.
but see, the thing is now, if you fucked up, are you letting them know they fucked up?
Oh.
Yeah, me? Yup.
Because
You
if
can
you
see
don't
I
let
don't have
them
a
know,
poker face. You're really gonna see it on my face, but then my words are gonna follow.
but that's what I'm
But you
saying.
have to use your
You
words.
gotta use your words, and you
Yeah.
gotta let them know, like, hey, you fucked up. You know you fucked up, don't
And it
you?
can't
You
be
fucked up.
abstract.
That's my
It
favorite
can't be
line.
abstract. You can't be like, well, you always do such and such, but you
Well, yeah.
don't actually point it out when it's happening so that they can be in real time with you to see it. Because most of us, we can't remember what you said last Tuesday exactly for verbatim, or
Right.
what we said last Tuesday
But
exactly
we
for
know how you
verbatim.
made us feel.
Right. But when my point is, when you bring it back up, perception has colored the experience. Instead of, if you bring it up in the moment or relatively soon after, maybe even you give yourself 24 hours to calm down. Okay, fine. But you still need to have that conversation, because a week out, 6 months out, I ain't gonna lie, when people bring stuff to me like that, I'm like, well, now if they said something and I just still didn't understand it and I'm still messing up, okay, help me understand so I can, because it may take a few conversations. But god damn it, if you ain't said a word and 6 months later you bring it to me, now my attitude is like, why the hell should I care now? Because you didn't care to bring it to me then. Like, now you mad because it done festered and I done moved on, and you're blindsiding me with this. Fuck you too.
So you know what?
And
Let me
now I
catch up
don't
on
know
these
what.
comments real quick. Sure said, I'm with Sean. Say what you have to say on Tuesday. Uh,
Oh yeah, them
Cats are
Capricorns.
assassins when you flip that switch.
Yep.
Some people cannot handle someone that says, hey, what do you mean by that? They shut down.
Hmm.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like confrontation. It makes them uncomfortable. But you
Right.
have to recognize that basic communication is not confrontation. It's exactly that, communication. And it takes
But
communication to fix things.
if they've grown up in a toxic type environment, so it's all about, again, it goes back to your family dynamics and the fact that if
Yeah.
you have grown up in that type of environment, that anytime you spoke up it was considered confrontational and combative, then you learn not to speak up. That's how I learned not to speak up, because when I spoke up it was always taken as being combative, right?
And
And
so,
so
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I
no,
don't mean to cut
no,
you off.
no. So that's what I'm saying. So then it goes back to, are you dateable? Nope, not until you do the work.
And that's what I was going to say. Let's segue so we can cover this
Right,
real quick, because we're about to run out of time. But it really
right,
does tie in, because if you grow
right.
up in toxic environments with your parents, with your elders, with your family, with whoever, or you've had, painful relationships or dating experiences, we were talking about this, yesterday as we were planning. Like, you can meet a really good person You can be a good person and
Mhm.
still fuck it up because you're afraid. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to, again, that to me is where the communication comes in. I'm a brat and I'm spoiled, and I know that I am. I am very clear on this. And I'm a little mean. I'm very clear on this too. But I put all that shit out in front
All
street.
Jasmines I know are me.
I mean, that's what I've heard, but I'm not confirming or denying. I can only talk about myself. But
I
with
don't
those
know.
things, I still work to be a better version of myself all the time. I don't just give people my ass to kiss and be like, and you should deal with me. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
want to be a better person for me. And then the people that I love get the benefit of that. You can't change for other people, but you can change with people, is what I think. You know what I'm saying? But especially if you're going to date or try to be in a relationship or get married or have kids, like, really do the work on yourself. This is why we got so many grown ass people fucked up now, because their parents was fucked up and nobody was doing the damn work. And we still as a community are afraid of therapy.
Yeah.
But see,
And
the thing
So
is this. Hold on, wait. The
go.
thing is this. A,
A,
fuck what you been through.
I knew I was coming. What's
Listen to
B?
what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. B is that's ammunition to say, you know what? I don't want to be like that no more. I want to be better than that.
Thanks.
But you don't have the tools because of what you've been through.
What
Yo, and
what's
C
B?
is the tools are out there. You just have to make the conscientious decision to
Well,
seek
what was
them out.
B?
No, he said B
Oh, I
is
missed it. Okay,
right. Go
my
ahead.
bad.
Say B again. Tell her
See, I
again.
asked.
Tell her again.
See this see fellas, this is what happens. You be talking and the women don't listen.
He go listen. He said,
You know what? I am going to do the grown up thing. I am not going to give you my remote control, Sean. Um,
right.
but no, like, so to kick it back to you, Gypsy, because I agree with Sean, but in our previous episodes, we've talked a lot about some of the specific things that you've been navigating, right? We talked about
Right.
things that we're all navigating, but you've been open, like with your divorce process some years back and just the
Right.
ongoing things that you're navigating. What does that make you think when he says A, B, and C?
Well, what that makes me think is that I definitely don't need to bleed on people that didn't cut me. So if you know that you're not all the way healed yet,
Mhm.
or that you're still working on some things, it's okay to say, hey, we can be friends and we can hang out and stuff. But right now, I'm just not in the headspace
Absolutely.
to do this because I'm toxic right now.
Mhm.
And knowing that you're toxic right now. Shut up, Sean. I
No,
just
no,
told
no, 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 no. You don't understand. You don't understand. Don't say that because some dudes gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I like toxic." So
I
don't say
know
that.
something
They
you
like
Just say
it.
you're not in the right headspace.
What's the chick
right.
on the Batman movie? Not the Batman movie. What's the chick on shit? It's a Will Smith movie or a Batman movie? The Joker and his girlfriend,
Oh, the
Oh, Harley
Joker's
Quinn.
girlfriend. Yeah.
Harley Quinn. I knew it was some, but I was like, it's not
Yeah.
Harley Quinn. Like, there's some dudes out there that really love a good Harley Quinn, and you don't want to be her. So I'm like Sean. Don't set yourself up to fail. It's okay to acknowledge your limitations and where you feel like you are, but I'm also still challenge you and say, don't get so stuck in holding the limitation and claiming it that you don't move through it. Because how long does it take to heal? That's different for every person. But if you're still dealing with it over and over and over again in a different colored shirt on a different day, then something has to give within you, because at some point it has become your crutch.
Sometimes you don't realize it because, like, I just started really seriously taking therapy seriously, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yeah, I would bullshit, go in there and get the pills and go, okay, now I'll see you next week. But you know, and would never really go and do the work or whatever, right? But when you get to the point where you're actually doing the work, when you do the work, then you'll be like, I need to save space for me. And that means that I need to, one, cut off these toxic antennas, which may be family, may be siblings, maybe friends, maybe workspaces. You may decide that I need to change jobs because this environment is just not good for me, you know, and whatever that looks like for you. But it comes to the point where you have to acknowledge that, yeah, I need to change some things. And that's where I'm at. I need to change some things. I need to set boundaries and I need to make people respect them.
Mm-hmm.
I would set boundaries and move them because, you know, I was that person that you could call and you could do that soft begging. I would I would call you, but you know, my phone gonna be cut off tomorrow because I ain't got my phone bill. How much you need? You know, that kind of thing. That's soft begging. You know, those kind of things
Shit.
where I would try to help
Mm.
everybody with their problems, but
I used to be Captain Save
ignore
a Hoe
mine.
too. And then you get to a point where you realize there's always gonna be another hoe that need to be saving, and you don't need to be everybody's captain.
Right.
So
But
because
also
if they
that
called you once for help, fine. But if it's a repeatable offense every single time you turn around, they don't really want help. They want you to keep being the crutch.
but that again goes back to learned behavior that you carry into adulthood from childhood.
Sure said, hmm,
Gypsy is
Gypsy,
on.
you're on to something. You have to access the relationship you are in and what the normal communication, assess the relationship you're in and
Yeah.
what the normal communication is. If you know you're messed up, then you can go find the help you need.
Mhm.
And holding on to your areas of challenges becomes comfortable. People would rather hold
Mm.
on to the dysfunction. Yeah.
Well,
Again, is it, are you dealing with it or
it's
is it your crutch?
familiar. It's familiar.
Yeah, but at some
It's
point you got to
familiar.
decide that you want something different, like whether it's familiar or not. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's the other thing about being dateable because if you're still in that kind of headspace, you're gonna attract where you are. And so if you are in chaos, you're gonna attract chaos. So you're gonna attract people that are like that, that are chaotic, that are, you know, that are not gonna put you in a good headspace.
So there's a difference in being in chaos, meaning there's some chaotic things happening in your environment and you are the chaos. Those are two
Right.
different things. You have to
Tasmanian
figure out,
devil.
yeah, you got to figure out, are you the dirt cloud following yourself, or are there just things and people around you that, for whatever the reason is, you can't maybe out communicate all of them, but you're a work in progress
So
because there are people that have met someone good and that good was able to stabilize and they were able to make a lot of changes and move forward together. Now nobody else is responsible for your work, but they can inspire you,
right,
right? And then there are people that have been good and they got drugged by the Tasmanian devil or the dirt cloud because that
right.
person wasn't willing to change. You got to know yourself, but at the same time you're never going to be perfect. Don't keep waiting for the perfect moment to go out there and get what you want.
And the thing is that when I was younger, you would hear people say, "I'm looking for the person to complete me." No, you need to be a whole you before you go in. I'm serious. There are people that would.
No,
That's
I
what it.
mean, I understand. I've heard that
You know,
before. I'm just like, no,
looking for somebody to
I ain't
complete you,
looking. I ain't looking for nobody to complete me. I'm looking for
to
that person
compliment.
that exactly like, okay, you gonna bring something out of me just like I'm gonna bring something out of you.
Right.
Absolutely.
But that's the thing is back in the day that was the fantasy that everyone was selling people. And that's why
So
we
to
didn't talk
answer the
about what went on
question,
in
But
the
I
hood.
would date myself.
okay.
Sean,
So
would you date yourself? Because we gotta wind this up, y'all.
Mhm.
We said we was gonna be accountable. I'm calling us out.
no, I'm just laughing because of course I would date myself, but I knew what I'd be getting. So yeah, I would definitely be in love with myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Gypsy,
know.
Honest answer, would you date yourself?
Honest answer, would I date her right now in this current state? Yeah, because she's working on her. Would I have dated her 6 months ago? The hell to the no.
Yeah, to the no, no, no.
Hell to the no.
I would date myself. I mean, I think I'm pretty magnificent. I got shit to work on and I'm always working on it. But as
Right.
a whole, I think I'm a pretty dope person.
But like the one thing that I do want to say, what Cher said, you have to assess the relationship.
Yeah.
As far as communication, I really feel like you have to set the communication in the relationship, because if you
Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, okay, now I assess it like, okay, so now I gotta talk to you like this. Like, nah, fuck that. We both adults. We should be able to talk about anything and everything.
I'm with you when you're right.
And if you ain't
So
on that level, then the fuck we doing?
I
Right.
so as we wind up, the one thing I'm gonna leave y'all with is this. And I tell ladies this all the time, especially my lady clients. If you can, when it comes to are you dateable, like would you date yourself, who you're choosing to date, if you giving him the punani, but you don't feel like you can talk to him, or he doesn't listen, and or she doesn't listen,
Right.
your ass don't need to be fucking them. You are giving them the most valuable possession, the most valuable energy that
Mhm.
exists, which is you. And you're giving it to a person that you can turn around and say won't even hold safe space for you. Like, that is insane to me. That's literally insane to me. So that's the thing I'm gonna leave you with
That's a good
to
question.
consider. Yeah, that's the thing I'm
Yeah.
going to leave you with to consider is if you are being intimate with somebody, or you're in a relationship with somebody, or you've married somebody that you do. Because I get this question a lot of times when it comes to sex and we're talking about healing and things. Well, I'm afraid to say this, or I'm afraid to ask for this. How in the fuck do you marry somebody or continue to date somebody long term that you're afraid to ask for your basic needs to be met, or to whatever, right?
Right.
So I know that's cutthroat. That's who I am. I think it's baseline, but I know that for some people it's going to feel cutthroat or overwhelming. You are worth it to be cutthroat for yourself. You are worth it to have that as a baseline to make sure that you are safe in anything that you choose to participate in, whether that's the person that you're sleeping with, the person that you're dating, the person that you're marrying, your family members, whoever. You are worth it to be cutthroat to protect you. Because see, I'll fight to the death for me. What's the
Yeah,
last
I'm
thing y'all
Cheryl,
want?
glad. I'm
one
glad.
of
I'm glad you said that, because I thought you were gonna say always wear crotchless thongs, but I'm glad you said that.
You thought I was gonna say what?
Always wear crotchless thongs.
I mean, if you got, I don't, nah, we got too much ass over here to be wearing thong anything. If you're gonna wear
What?
something crotchless, make sure it's comfortable. That's all I'm gonna say.
I want to look at Cher's last question when she said, "What
Sure,
is an
sure.
I
adult to
know.
you?"
I saw that, and she getting into semantics right there.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way for us to define that because it's going to be
Yeah,
different per person and per relationship.
you'll
But
just know.
definitively, it would be what you consider an adult to you.
Your safe space.
Some people think
Exactly.
being an adult is paying bills. I mean,
Some people think that.
you know what
Some
I'm saying?
people
So,
think that being an
I
adult is the
think you
motherfucker always providing Birkins and red bottles. But hey,
right.
right.
So I think that's subjective and objective because it really depends on the two people that are engaging. Again, whether it's family, friend,
Right.
whoever, is the people that are choosing to engage in the experience and in the relationship. Anything y'all want to add before we wind tonight's topic down?
Thank y'all for coming through. Make sure to send some questions or comments into the inbox. Make sure you like, share,
Yeah,
and subscribe.
yeah.
And look for some commercials coming your way soon. You guys will be seeing commercials and stuff. So
excuse me.
to let you know about upcoming shows, make sure again if you like, share, and subscribe, you'll see what's coming up. We are now going to do something where we're actually posting ahead of time so that you can see the topics and make sure that you know that, oh, I need to bookmark this one for that day because I know I need to be home. I want to hear about this topic or whatever. So thank y'all for tuning in.
Anything you want to throw on the fire before we end it, Sean?
You
Oh,
know
you
what?
finna do.
Just keep watching, keep sharing, keep liking, keep having
I
these
thought you was gonna say keep
conversations.
washing your ass. Okay, never mind.
And cook your
Oh nah,
cornbread all the way in the middle.
if you need to watch it, if you ain't getting in between them cheeks, your game is weak. Watch that ass, motherfucker.
Bam. And on that note, what did Tevin Campbell say? Audi 5000.
Husband.
Peace.